Hey guys, this is Anna with Shadowwick, and today's Witchtober word of inspiration is witchsona. And when I got that word, I will admit I was a little thrown. I wasn't sure what that exactly meant, but in Googling and watching a couple YouTube videos, I found it actually is exactly what it sounds like. Witchsona is a persona you would take on if you were to fantasize about being a witch or picture yourself as a witch, but not in the kind of reality-based witchdom, more like if you were the long-lost Hallowell sister, what powers would you have? What would you look like? What would you do? If you were at Hogwarts, what classes would you like? Things like that are a bit more fantastical and fun. And I think we all get into that, and it's all fun. I know I've taken God knows how many BuzzFeed quiz to find out what witch I would be and what element I connect to. Um, but how was I going to make a creation that would speak to someone spiritually about a witchsona? Because witchsonas, to me, it kind of, as fun as it is, it's not reality based. Or so I thought. And then I kind of like took a minute to think, okay, if I was to have a witchsona, what would I want my witchsona to be? And it kind of hit me. If I were to be this fantastical witch in some wonderful, story or movie, how would I want to be? And I realized really quickly I kind of want to be the same as I am now. I'd want to be very much into kind of folky stuff. I'd like to craft things and cook things and be that crazy old lady at the corner in like this funky little cottage, and when Halloween pulls up, she's got all the best treats, kind of the Debbie Reynolds from Halloween Town kind of a feel. And when I was kind of visualizing this and thinking about this, it hit me. So I would want not to be totally different, but to be more of me, just jacked up, more powerful, more amped. And I kind of got to thinking about that. I don't think to create for a witchsona, I thought the best thing to do would be not to connect to some fantasy realm, but to dig into the reality within all of us. Each of us has an immense amount of talent and incredible potential and things that we do so incredibly well, and 9 times out of 10 we don't see that. We look at these really cool and awesome things we can do and go, oh, that's just something I do. It's like, no, we should revel in that. We should really nurture that and cultivate those talents and those skills and let that shine through and empower us. I think often we use our insight so much on other people and like external situations and how do I handle this and how do I handle that and how do I do this and do that, that we don't use our own insight on what's really going on inside us and what we need to do within, not to overcome some great trauma, although we do need to do that often, but not to shadow work, not to work through great pain, but instead to look at ourselves and go, oh, you know what? I really enjoy sewing. What can I do to make sure that I'm taking the time I need to cultivate that and nurture that and make that skill grow and make me feel like I'm really connecting to that passion. So tonight I wanted to create a candle that would be about illuminating the passion and creativity and the witchsona within, so to speak. Something that someone could use when they're feeling a little off, when they're doubting a lot about themselves, I know I myself have a horrible tendency to look at everyone else and go, oh, I wish I was that cool. Man, I wish I looked like that. Man, I wish I had that. Man, it would be so cool if I was talented like that. And I think we all do that, and we all get so caught up in these little mini competitions and these I wishes and I wants and if onlys that we don't take the minute to really see what we can do and what we have. And sometimes we need a little bit of a light to shine and remind us, no, I really, although I feel doubt right now, although I don't like where I'm at right now, I can sit down at my sketch pad with my pencils and I can draw and I will feel better by the end of that time. Or I will sit down in front of my computer and type and create this beautiful story. Or heck, I just need to feel some comfort, so I'm going to make some chili and snuggle up with some chili. But we all have those things that we can do to lift us up and to enlighten us. And if we just took time to really examine those skills and those passions that we have, we might feel a little less envious of others' talents. Like, we can appreciate the crap out of the fact that, like, I can't sew. I cannot sew to save my soul. It is not a thing I have. I have my glue gun, and that's about it. So when I see someone that can sew and put together costumes and really work things through, I'm enamored with it. And I wish I was that cool. But I've found myself taking some time in meditation, and when I'm really down on myself because, with costume season coming up, gosh, I have to buy a bunch of stuff because I can't sew, and wow, look at her and look at him, and they both can sew, and they're making these amazing things. That's the time I usually take and light a candle and kind of sit and think, okay, I'm not going to think about that. I'm going to celebrate what they can do because that's freaking awesome. But instead of me getting down on myself because I can't do that, what's something I can focus on and give light to that I can do, that I can work on right now to get myself out of this bad headspace? Using that insight that we have to shine a light and give us that beacon to find our way out of that dark place. That is what I think, that's where my thought process went for the concept of a witchsona. It wasn't so much to make a candle that will help illuminate some path that would turn you into this fantastical, hedge witch or, sea witch, but instead, something that would just help in meditation and contemplation to really hone in on what is it that you do that you love doing. Maybe that you don't even do well, you just love doing it. What are the talents that you can work on within yourself to bring yourself that bit of happiness and that bit of peace and that bit of calm? Because those little bits of peace and calm and happiness, at the end of the day, they empower us. They make that day a little easier to get through. And that, I think, is what needs illuminating. That is what a witchsona does. A witchsona is to empower. So I wanted to create a candle that would help find something within yourself to empower you. So I came across an old blueprint, actually. So it's not a brand new creation. It is a reproduction, but it's one that I absolutely loved, called the Flame of Insight. And that's the candle. And it's to give us sight within our own selves, to find that beacon within, to lead us out of the darkness, and to lead us out of the, I wish I could do that, or wouldn't it be cool to be that? Because really, we don't need to be Sabrina Spellman. We just need to be us, because we're pretty darn cool. And that's what a witchsona is all about for me. Bye, guys.